Is Ross McLean, former Toronto police officer and security specialist. Ross, good morning. Glad you could be with us. So a lot to unpack here. We have family members, fathers and sons involved here. What do you make of what we heard from police this morning, your reaction to this announcement?
Well, my reaction changed as the presser went on. It became more of a Pandora's box as I started to hear the answers as to what happened and how it was uncovered and where it went. And I think this is just going to lead to even more questions. It's shocking, of course, when you have corrupt police, but we're talking a corruption level here that's it's on the edge of a blockbuster movie that would be made up to follow with The Godfather, if you will. We're not getting the continuing information about who else is going to be involved in this. And one chilling, I'll leave you with my one chilling part, we can come back to the crimes, is this was police investigating police here. They didn't bring in the SI, they did not bring in the SIU, they did not bring in the RCMP, they did not bring in someone to be independent in it. So the question will be, is there some limit to how this was done, or is everybody being charged? And I'll note the most part that leads me to believe that is the chief said he's bringing in the new police investigative head. Now, why would he announce he's doing that? Other than York Regional Police and their investigation uncovered such holes and such questions about the way the internal conduct is done on the police that they said this has to be part of it. So that's the bigger picture for me. But on the narrower picture, you see the gunshots on here. We've seen these victims, these shootings, these automatic weapons on homes and people killed before. We're seeing the worst of the worst, which is that police may have been involved or alleged to have been involved in giving information to facilitate these extortions, attempted murders, drug trafficking, international, I might add. This guy DaCosta is supposed to have international relations. This is pot going down to the U.S., cocaine coming back into Canada. I think this is going to be, this has got a lot more to come.
Okay, I have a couple follow-up questions because we were showing that video and I just don't want to show it up randomly without giving it some context. What were we seeing there? Given that we now know that these officers were giving information to bad guys, if you will. So that video that we were showing, smashed cars, people firing shots, what was that?
Well, it looks like, I don't know the exact crimes there, but what it looks like to me is that's going to be intimidation, pay your bills, gambling is apparently involved with this as well, drugs, someone doesn't pay for their drugs, shots at the house, you better pay your bills or you better back off or you better shut up. I mean, this attack on the police, the senior police officer in his home. Now, thank goodness the cops were on that. They had a surveillance team watching these guys. Great job by whoever the surveillance team was. They had the helicopter on it. They're looking at it. What this guy, this officer who they took a shot at, he was in charge of the detention center or working there. What criminals was he in contact with there that someone had such a beef that when they got out, they wanted to have him dealt with? I mean, that's a whole other question right there.
Yeah, as you said, there are a lot of layers to this. I just want to go back then to your original point so I understand. It sounds as though you are saying you are somewhat skeptical or suspicious of Toronto police doing the investigating. And we heard, I just want to check my notes, at the beginning of the news conference, that there was some praise and some shout out to the officers who were put in the position of having to investigate their own. But that, it doesn't sound like sits well with you. Should the SIU have been called in sooner?
Well, the question here is, it was the York Region Police that got on top of this. And then they said they contacted Chief Demkew right away. Sorry to say, but when you're in a conflict of interest position like that, where does the trail of the corruption end and where does it start? Where does a phone call come from that to perhaps warn somebody or put something in place? As those who can remember when we had the drug squad investigation many, many years ago, that dragged out forever to get to the bottom of it. And that's my fear with this one, especially when the chief is saying, oh, I'm putting out a letter, I'm calling in this inspector to look at everything as to how we handle our processes. there must have been found some very gaping holes by the York Regional investigators. And make no doubt, I commend the ones who are doing the professional work in York Region. Tough job to go after your own, but it's a satisfying job if you have your heart in the right place.
Last question. I'm just about out of time with you, Ross. The investigation, as we know, began in 2025. Here we are today. Is this a long investigation? Is this a long time for this sort of organized crime and corruption to go undetected?
Well, that's really the question. How much more is there? The chief is saying now we want to look at how we do our recruiting. We want to look at the ongoing. And I've had concerns come to me about the hiring most recently, a lot of the times in the TPS, that some of the people that are being hired, they've lowered the standards to get certain people in. They're allowing people in who have pardons on criminal issues and things like that. So it's really tough. Now, I'll tell you, it's hard to hire a good cop these days. I know they're all looking for them, and they want good people. And that's who we want in our place there. So that's what has me worried, is the breadth of what these 5 areas are. They want the police investigator from the province to look at.
Ross McLean. Ross is a former Toronto police officer and security specialist. Ross, really glad that you could be with us today. Again, this story just starting to be revealing itself.